started. It is 5:33. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Paula, can you take roll call?
Mark Miller,
Present.
Chris Carson,
Here.
and Paula Crook here. We're all present.
I'd like to make a motion to approve last month's minutes.
Motion?
Favor?
Aye.
Chris, could you go over the financials?
I can. So we started February out with $676,596.83. We had receipts of $76.27. We had disbursements of $77,583.01. So our balance ending for last month was $599.090.09 for the first half of the year. We are back to doing projects again, so we have a lot of expenses monthly between different road, tree, basic repairs, stuff that didn't get done over the winter. So nothing is out of the ordinary, just typical spring expenses that we typically go through. So, any questions?
No.
Motion to approve the budget.
Make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Road assessor report, please, Chris.
All right, road assessors report. So, last month we approved Cascades. I signed a contract and then I received a letter from the people of that street. So that project is dead, done. I'm not going to look at it again until 2026, period. So after that, I do want to make it clear, because I think probably some of you are probably here for that. That road is the worst road in Meadows, because it was somebody overlaid 2 inches of asphalt into your gutters. So you have water going under your road and undermining your subgrade. That road is going to be a problem. And the current vehicles that they use to rip out asphalt cannot make the radius of that cul-de-sac. Just so you know. But I'm not going to deal with it till 2026. It's off the table. It's getting sidebarred. I'm going to reallocate the money to other projects. With that said, Wentworth will happen. But that will be the only cul-de-sac that happens in the first half of the year because I couldn't get anything scheduled.
So I thought we went with priority though was Brookline 1, Wentworth 2. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We're good.
So no Brookline.
Not the first half of the year.
Is it?
I get money twice a year. My first half budget is already allocated. My second half budget comes in May, June.
Quick question. Over the next 2 years, is there any degrading of the asphalt on Cascades that'll cause problems?
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there is now.
Is there funds to patch that?
No.
Okay.
Because we have to cut it all out. I have to literally cut all the gutters out and grind that thing at least 2 inches down, if not 4 inches down, to even do anything. I have to get the 2 inches off. The gutters, it's already in the gutters. I can't grind that. So the gutters have to all be removed 100% and completely replaced. They're all falling back, so that means they're not working. So when water comes down, it runs into your yards and doesn't run down to where it's supposed to go. So that's why it was on the list. That's why it was the priority. It's the biggest problem of all those streets. Now we'll just wait. That's all we can do.
That's okay.
Obviously, I had a nice letter and email from some neighbors, and it was all signed. And I'm not in the mood for any legal fights, and I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. If you don't want it, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Just plain and simple.
What if the Brookline doesn't want theirs done either?
Then they can send me the same email. I don't have to do it. I had to run your Cascades letter past my attorney. I don't like doing that. If you don't want it done, let me know. But your HOA is your first line of defense. Go talk to your HOA. Let them help them figure out the projects, and then let them bring it to me. Because when your HOA brings it to me, your project is approved.
Okay. I know there's a few of us on Brookline that also want to keep ours, so just let you know.
I suggest you guys have an HOA meeting and hash that out. But beyond that, we can take discussion up later.
But what about the majority that do want it? So we're gonna bow to the few, and we're gonna bow to the county wanting that done from a safety standpoint.
I am not going to get into a legal fight. So if you guys can hash it out, great. But our attorney already said it's not worth a legal fight.
I'm an unpaid volunteer HOA president. That is not my responsibility. The county and the township should speak up on behalf of the
Let's-
roads.
Let's have
and of
this,
the
let's go through, we have time for discussion afterwards, we'll have the discussion afterwards, I'll be happy to talk to you about that. Because FYI, I'm in an unpaid position as well.
I appreciate it.
So, beyond that, projects are gonna get done in the first half. I am going to do a repair, crack seal repair to Crest, to Richfield. I got another one on Clay, was it? We're gonna do some patch repair there. We're gonna do Wentworth. And I think that's all I have on the books for first half until the next round of disbursement comes, and that'll be in May. Other than that, we're doing, we're going back through fixing all the gravel roads from the storm, when we had the rain and the freeze. So we're fixing all the gravel roads in the area, which has been time consuming at its best. So, beyond that, that is all I have for the road report.
Okay, I'm gonna finish up the meeting and I'm gonna talk about what you guys were just discussing from my point of view.
Sure.
Okay, good.
I'm good.
Okay. John, do you have anything notable that you've been doing?
Now, we're getting ready to spray ditches down south and anywhere we need to spray for weeds.
Okay.
And then start mowing again.
And as everybody I think already knows, John's our go-to, right? Because we've got civilian jobs and stuff. So John and Paul are full-time employees, and they do a good job of communicating and talking and relaying the message if we don't get it on our email on the website. So thank you.
I don't.
I don't have any new business. Some old business is, this is my last meeting and I'll be gone for a while. I think I mentioned that last month. Maybe January is about the time I'll come back. I think we're gonna try to work something out so I can still be present on Teams or however way that we work it, if it's possible. The board only needs 2 people to vote either way, so if I'm not here, it's not the end of the world. And I had a conversation, is anybody from St. Cloud here? No? St. Cloud is a community on the southwest corner of Crestview. And I know that they were discussing wanting to go public, and so I told them that they needed to start coming to the meetings. So you might see somebody,
Yeah.
an HOA president of some sort, or to start asking questions. I told them what the questions needed to be so we can get it in the minutes. But that it's a process, right, to go from private to public. And Villas 1 has been trying, Villas 1 or 2?
It was
2 has been trying to do this for a long time. And it's honestly a county decision. It's nothing that we can just say, yeah, we're gonna do it. They have to bless off on it too. We've got a hierarchy also, improvement district, township, and then county. And they don't want us to get in anything that we can't manage. So I don't have any other business. We're gonna talk afterwards. Like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
motion.
Favor?
Aye.
So was it you that I responded to that email
Yes.
to?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, we try to appease everybody. And that's why I wrote that email saying that, yeah, we can postpone it because the roads are our roads. And so as much as we appreciate the input, if it gets to the point where we have to work on them, we're gonna work on them. And we're gonna do it in the best financial method that we can. I don't know much about the islands. We spoke about wanting to remove some of them. We thought that everybody was on board. Like I said, we are not the county. If the county wanted to remove them tomorrow, they would be gone. And as much as everybody would want to have input in that, they wouldn't care because it's the county's roads. So we'll continue on having these discussions, even while I'm gone. I'm only going to the East Coast. I'm not going overseas, so communication will be a lot better. But with that, I think all we can do is just continue talking, not get upset about it, because things can always wait. But when the time comes, we're gonna have to pull the trigger if it comes to that.
Is it possible to just rent different equipment that would fit around there?
I
We're-
don't know.
We don't do that work. It's up to the contractors. If the contractors can, maybe. The other cul-de-sacs are easier to do that on than Cascades. Cascades is a total rebuild. So trying to do a total rebuild with a narrow radius doesn't work well for the equipment. It's not a total rebuild on the other ones, so there are other opportunities.
Yeah.
But I'm an architect, I'm not a road guy.
I talked to Tony after that email came out, and I think one of the worries was that golf carts were going too quick down there. Now, is there a chance that the islands are actually creating blind spots to where, people are cruising down, and somebody was saying they were playing with their kids and a golf cart almost like sideswiped them. Does that sound right?
Part of the problem is the golfers come off the golf course and there's a runway that's about 20, 25 yards. And we get angry golfers, we get drunk golfers, and we get underage kids.
First drink, what?
While I was getting dressed for this, I took a picture of some, obviously 13 or 14-year-old driving mom and dad's golf cart around.
Right.
And I don't know if there are any blind spots or not. There is a tree, medium-sized tree. It's trimmed up pretty high. So unless you're in a tall vehicle, you're going to be able to see underneath that. For a taller vehicle, there might be a blind spot. On the other hand, the responsible driver is going to slow down if they have a blind spot. And we think also that roundabout serves as something like a speed bump, because you can be going 90 down the runway off the golf course, but you're going to have to slow down to navigate the roundabout, or else you're going to tip over.
Right.
So it serves as a safety feature. Same with the Amazon and the FedEx drivers. Those guys drive like mad. And,
Sure.
and I understand why they do. Their employers put terrible constraints on them to get all their deliveries done. But that's not the township's problem or our problem. If Amazon wants to solve that problem, they would, fix the time
Right.
constraints on the drivers. I don't think that we should be making their lives easier. I think they need to do that for themselves.
Yeah. And so the reason why we, do what we do at the township is nothing is that we have in the township is within the county standards. And so they mentioned the fact that that island makes that cul-de-sac extremely narrow, and that's why people drive on the island, or maybe even drive in your guys' yards, is because there's just not that much space to navigate through there, let alone maybe a fire truck or something.
Yeah,
That's, Sunswept, Springdale, it's all the same.
Yeah, it's all about the county standards for roads are, they want 2 emergency vehicles to be side by side on a street. And that cannot happen in those cul-de-sacs that have the islands in them. And actually the turning radius probably, if an engine had to go, if one of the big engines had to do the cul-de-sac, they probably can't make the radius.
Sometimes I can't with my dump truck.
Well, there's always tire tracks through
Yeah.
Brook Line.
Yeah, and so I mean, ultimately in the end, what we hope that works out is that the HOAs, you go to your HOAs about, you guys have HOA meetings. HOAs say, hey, we've got these ideas for these projects. Great, sort them out. Let us know what you want to do. Bring them to us, if they look like good projects, we'll take them. We'll do them. I don't have a problem doing them. I do have a problem with getting emails telling me to basically cease and desist. That's a problem, because I have to go to an attorney then and find out, am I doing something outside my legal purview? And I don't know about you folks, this is not my full-time job.
None of ours.
Exactly. And so I just want to work with you guys on getting stuff done. That's my job, is to get the roads taken care of for you. But we gotta work together on them.
Is the first one scheduled?
No, nothing's scheduled.
Okay.
I just executed contracts.
Any
That's all I got.
feedback on your street with that cul-de-sac?
Everyone was thrilled.
Everyone or most
Well,
people?
the people I've talked to.
Okay.
And I've got no dissent.
I
other than
would
Cascades
suggest
and
that
Township.
we don't even schedule that one. We don't schedule any cul-de-sac removal until we have an annual meeting.
Okay.
I mean,
But how do we get people to come to the meetings?
it's kind of
Well,
like the old
that's-
system. if you don't show up and voice your opinion, that's a yes vote.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why I distributed the letters.
what is,
So it wasn't
But the letter was
formalized.
like-
I
but
mean,
what a,
Tell
We
us
have
so
to
a
do it.
quorum, so here's the thing, if you have, like, say you have an annual meeting, and if it's just, say you have, well, let's just, like,
We did.
my neighborhood does 4 meetings a year. And everybody takes minutes, right? And you're always recording how many people attend. All you have to do is take the last 4 meetings, average those people, that's your quorum. If people don't show up, you may only need 3 people to approve a project.
Yeah.
That may be all it takes. That's what we struggle with in our neighborhood. We happen to live in the same neighborhood but it's all private where we live. But a quorum is based on your last year's meetings. So the bad part is people may be upset about it, but if they don't show up to the meeting and you have minutes that approve this thing to move forward, if your minutes approve it and they didn't show up,
I think that was our problem. Was it ever discussed?
It was. In
Because
my
I went to the
backyard.
Okay, I was late. Maybe it was before I got there.
Yeah, we've brought up these islands for the last 2 years, and it's been discussed, and just because of
I think we brought up removing them, though. We've talked about maintaining them, and what a pain.
we did talk about
Yeah.
maintaining them and
Last year
the
we talked about
landscape,
maintaining
but
them
last
and removing them.
and removing them.
I
And we have it
can
in the
tell you,
minutes.
one thing I can tell you is that if you ever have a major 911 emergency in one of those cul-de-sacs, and the fire department cannot get through into a house, the very next year those cul-de-sacs will be removed by the county. I will guarantee it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll, the roundabouts or the islands wouldn't prevent access.
Oh, yeah, it would. I mean, it'd be a mess in those cul-de-sacs if you had 2 fire trucks down there.
Our trash trucks are backing down as it is.
Yeah, trash truck can't even get through it, so.
I mean, there's only one driveway that's restricted on Cascades based.
But
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to, is that we take the HOA's recommendation on these items, right? And it's because we're here right now and we listen to people. We're not like the county, like I mentioned earlier, and if you need to vote on it, and if that's the best decision for that street, then that's how we're gonna push through.
Sure.
But eventually, they're gonna have to be worked on. And I don't know if different equipment can be rented. We don't do that. Those are things that just have to be, bid out to some of the contractors.
I mean,
that
are
do
you
work.
doing the bidding? Are you helping? Are you selecting the contractors?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of, sort of. So it used to be we could just do it.
And then the counties put a
Then-
thumb on that.
They have a new director, which is Lynn Packer. And Lynn Packer approached us last year and informed us that going forward, we have to run all projects through them first. And they have to approve the project before we can. And we have to go to formal bid, which means they want us to take the cheapest contractor out there. And I don't necessarily agree with that in the Crestview area. I'm in the architecture construction world my entire life, and there is a difference between low bid contractors and contractors. And I feel like if I have to take low bid contractor in the Crestview mile, you guys are going to be very upset with the product, and I don't want that to happen.
And sorry I got a little bit heated in the beginning, but I know Tawny and Chris have put a lot of effort into already doing a lot of work into this. And so when, example, the email comes out after all the work has happened, it's frustrating, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, most of you probably don't realize we've been working on this since September.
So
Yeah, we should probably work on communication other than just in-person meetings. Because I mean, this day and age, people aren't going to share their opinions, and then when you get a letter, people are.
But you are a part of Minnehaha Township, and we meet every month, and we are sitting right here every month. You're more than welcome to join every single month. Come talk to us.
Yeah.
Voice your opinion.
Is there
We do-
emails that come out?
We don't get
No.
HOA emails.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay.
No, because
Okay.
we don't have a distribution
the,
list, and I,
Um,
from a.
and usually Minnehaha Township website is public. I keep the proposed projects on there, and there's a contact me that goes straight to my phone. That you can go in and voice your opinion. You can send me things. That's easy.
And they've been
For
super
projects that
responsive.
affect the golf course, do we have ability to do that as well, or is that up to the golf course?
Golf course is private.
Yeah.
So I
They can
guess-
do whatever
I guess
they want.
Obviously, this is going to happen sometime or another on these little roundabouts. Can we just put a speed bump when it does come on those little circles?
Sedgwick County will not allow a speed bump.
On a
Sounds like
sidewalk?
we just
They
need
were on a sidewalk,
Well,
sure.
that's-
Oh, not
That's-
yeah, just not in a
That's
road.
the big thing. I mean, like they said, I mean, at the end of the day,
What
golf
you-
carts are ripping through there.
What's done on sidewalks is you guys could do whatever you want. We don't have control over that. We only have control of the road area.
Between the two houses.
Yeah.
On the strip.
Yeah.
For speeding that through there, we fight that everywhere.
Speed bump.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you put a 20-mile-an-hour zone, they're still speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I've had surveys done, the counties
Golf
come
carts
out
on
and
the
they,
street.
you know, they do the speed and the traffic tests. We did that over in St. Andrews, and
yeah.
as much as, you know, I think it gives some people peace of mind, it doesn't do anything for the ones who want to speed. Now, I know that I also try to advertise that, like, these golf carts, obviously they live in your guys' neighborhood, right? They don't just drive through for fun, right?
Most people are, yeah, in the neighborhood.
So if
Unless it's
that,
Not all of
if
them.
they need a letter or, you know, or something, or however their process is, if they're just out of control being reckless,
Once again, it comes down to us policing the neighbors and
Yeah.
asking and being, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I mean,
And we're
I have put it in newsletters. I have spoken to people directly and said, you know, until something comes like this to the 11th hour and people decide that, oh, wait, we're against this, despite conversations and meetings and discussions around it,
Well,
Yeah.
back to your
I-
point, I mean,
yeah. I don't,
we've had annual HOA meetings when there've been 5 people there.
Yeah.
You know, just,
it's like the neighborhood I live in has 77 houses, and we were lucky to get 5-6 people to any meeting at any given time. Any time. I was on that board for 12 years, and now that the East Kellogg project is going to decimate 2 sides of my neighborhood, now I get 20 people a meeting showing up because they want to know what I can do to stop it, and it's too late.
what's,
It's truly too late.
can we change subjects? Are we?
Sure, well, yeah, absolutely.
What about, what's going on with the sidewalk now and that plan?
yeah.
So,
That's
I don't-
Crestview Improvement District, right?
first off, yeah, I don't know.
The little
Okay.
flags have been there for months.
So, Crestview Improvement District approached us about partnering with them on it. And then after all the conversations, we determined instead of doing a sidewalk all the way down, it would just be at the
Right.
north end. I was one of that myself. I drove past there this weekend and saw the flags.
And they moved them. They were coming from one entry off of Wentworth, and now they moved it all the way down to coming near Brookline. It's a lower angle of ascent
Okay.
up, so they moved it longer.
Yeah, I mean, because once you put in a sidewalk, they have to meet, the grade has to be ADA accessible.
Right.
So that's probably part of the reason. We partnered with them to get the design drawings figured out,
Yeah,
And-
because we voted on that.
and we're out. I don't know what they're doing. They haven't talked to us about it, and they haven't come ask us to partner for more money. So I think they're working on their own.
Yeah, we'll check with them then.
Yeah, because we asked also for additional funds for whatever trees would be taken down. We're like, you could at least replant some trees as a part of your project. We wanted that built into the budget. If you're gonna put that sidewalk in there, then we need some tree help, you know, whether it's in
Yeah.
replanting or.
I don't think, I think at least the plans that Minnehaha was involved in didn't remove any trees, as far as I know.
Is the county saying it's gonna be a while before they widen the 143rd?
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't talk to us about it.
You
But, I
told us
mean-
that it wasn't even on the docket for the next
It's not even
5
on
It
years.
was it was supposed to be on the docket for 28, but now I don't know.
All the things you learned from
So in August of last year was when the school opened, and they were supposed to run a traffic study to determine when they would do it. And I don't know if that's ever happened. But I can tell you, I know how wide that road's going to be, and I know what it's going to take out on
See,
front of your houses.
Well, that's the thing is that it'll butt right up against this sidewalk they're building. So it seems,
Probably.
right, so it seems a little contradictory because you got that big ditch and then you're gonna have this sidewalk. And if they're gonna widen 143rd and encroach into our area,
Yeah, you're gonna have, the original plan that was put together was to run the sidewalk all the way down 143rd.
right,
And that doesn't make any sense because once they widen that road,
right.
there's no guarantee they'll put a sidewalk back in.
Right.
I mean, it will widen to the backside of that ditch. That's how
Well,
far
that's
they'll
why
go.
I couldn't
So-
understand why the improvement district was so hot to trot about putting the sidewalk in until they understand,
They had money.
because they had money.
Well,
And this is what they chose to spend it on.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, so so they're in the same boat that we are. So the year before we set a budget, we're going to set a budget, and when we set that budget, it takes effect in January. So we set it in June. We usually go. So we set a budget in June that takes effect in January. Okay, according to the county and the state attorney general, I have to spend that budget 100% to the penny by January 20th of the next year. And if I don't, then I have to modify my budget, go through the formal process of modifying the budget. It's the same for HOAs. It's the same, or I guess for improvement districts. HOAs are probably not governed that way, but an improvement district, which is what Crestview is, they're under the same guidelines. So if they end the year and they got $25,000, if they don't spend it before January 20th, they have to totally amend their budget, republish it, go through all the processes, and it's not a fun process, and it has to be approved by the Attorney General.
Yeah.
The conversation we had before
Yeah.
was they used to share those funds with the various homeowners associations to be able to do their own
So that we
improvements.
could
We did
determine
trees
what we
and
wanted the money used
we were
for.
getting like 5,000 a year, and then they did away with the mill levy, which eliminated those funds. Then they brought the mill levy allocation back, and all of a
didn't tell
sudden they
us.
had a windfall, and that's when the sidewalk appeared that they had to spend that
50K to
money,
spend, and they decided to build a sidewalk without asking.
which no one really wanted.
Or asking what other things we
So,
could
anyway,
have
we'll
used
figure
the
it
funds for, like
Yeah.
put some trees in.
So I've been to some of their meetings and I talked to Andrew and Chris, and there's usually just them
I know,
at the meeting.
we went.
They have a budget, just like we have a budget, and that's how the chain of command works, is the improvement district and the township, and so they obviously have money. But so if there's just 3 of them and they're just voting on what they want, then they can.
Well,
So
we-
attendance-
we went to that meeting when they were talking about the sidewalk, when we approved the plan that took it all the
Well,
way
you
down past
walked
Wentworth.
it first
Yeah,
with
we
you
walked
and
it first.
Kathy,
But
walked-
now I think they've changed it.
but I didn't vote on that.
No, nobody did, so.
They now changed it without us voting
We
or
just
even
need, we
being
just need
told.
to visit with
Well,
them.
and if they changed it, then they've changed it from what we know.
Like I said, they moved it to
Well,
where.
it depends on what the flags are. I mean, the only thing we know is they've moved is the flags.
Right.
Pink flags are survey. Other colors of flags are if it's a pink flag, it's a survey flag.
They're
If it's
big.
anything else, then it's utilities
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah.
Blue
And
is
those are marked
water,
too.
yellow is gas. I think AT&T runs blue too, so it
Mm-hmm.
gets confusing. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
That's fair. We'll get with them and figure it out.
We've reached out a few times. I don't think they really filled us in, have they?
Not really.
Well, they only meet quarterly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they would have had their first one, I think, January 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they use this building for
Next
their
one will be in
January meeting.
April. Next
Yeah.
month.
We met them at Crestview once, or twice.
Yeah, I think they run all their meetings at Crestview except for the
Yeah.
January meeting they run here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Crestview's closed.
But we were talking about, I think there was flooding behind somebody's house one time, and so those are the things with the improvement district, they can address those things, because it's either the homeowner or the improvement district that owns everything outside of the roads.
Roads.
And they do have a budget like we do.
Yeah.
I know the story on why it was reduced and the HOA thing. They could do more if they needed to do more, by raising the mill levy. But the improvement district, or really anything to the private entities like the villas in St. Cloud, because once again, we're restricted on not being able to do anything in a private sector.
Yeah.
And so that's why taking away from that mill levy only hurt those private areas that much more, because you still have to distribute the budget among everybody, but they don't have the help, I should say, like a public road for the township to be able to do something.
Well, there's just such a fine line too between the private property of the club. So you've got the country club,
Yeah.
and you've got the improvement district wrapped inside the township, inside the county. So it
Yeah.
is multifaceted.
It is, and a lot of times it's a giant pain.
So for me, because I don't really know where we're at with it, right? What have we?
Yeah.
Did we agree to one of the islands, or are we postponing everything right now?
He wants to postpone them all.
I would think we
I
postpone
would
until
like
we
to
have an
go
annual
through.
meeting and do it right,
Where is your annual meeting? Or when is your annual meeting?
as soon as
We
we
need to set
schedule.
one.
And ma'am, you live on what street?
Brookline.
Brookline. Was that on the agenda?
That was one of them. Brookline, I apologize, I meant to grab that folder and I did not. So, Wentworth, Brookline, Cascades, I think are those the only three with islands though?
No,
No, they all have.
they all
islands.
have them.
Oh,
Wakanda and Hermitage, all
Okay.
five. There's five.
Okay.
Now, if you go to Meadows 2,
They don't have any islands.
they have no,
They have no
Okay,
islands.
that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, is that they don't have any.
They don't have any islands. But they also
Do
don't
they
have
have
the,
them original?
Chris,
Chris,
No.
not
think
since
so.
I've been
if they
here.
get permission,
18.
can we go in there and cut the tree down in them islands?
Cut it down or trim it? If they're
Either
not wanting to
one.
get, if they're not wanting to get
He
rid of
said
it.
it's blocking their view.
I don't.
We like
no,
the
don't,
tree.
don't.
Yeah, we like our
touch
We
it.
like
Yeah.
the
We
tree.
don't even go there.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's always an issue about maintenance and
That's what I said,
landscaping
yeah,
and
you get,
Yeah.
rocks and you name it.
We'll just get back with us.
We will.
I'm just
Sorry.
gonna move down the neighborhood so it's easy.
No.
Yes, I'm
That
about
bad.
there. I'm done.
That's one way to get off the board.
I know. I mean,
No,
between
I-
drainage
I
issues, the
I spent
vacant
12 years
house,
on my other board and I
I'm
just told them
like,
I'm not running for
the
reelection. I
cones,
didn't.
sidewalk.
They still tried to vote me on.
Oh,
It's still vacant, the house we talked
Yeah.
about?
Oh, yeah.
It's
And
still a mess.
Yeah.
That's our next door neighbor.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
The,
it's right across the street from us.
The
Yeah.
garage
Every
fell
day.
down,
Oh,
so it was
good.
plywood for,
A month.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Now there's a door up, so at least that was an improvement, and then all the windows are caulked and
Well, they,
primed.
they're cocked and they just left them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did replace the roof, but there's
Okay.
no
they
guttering,
didn't put the gutters back
no
on.
gutters, it's a,
If the wind is blowing the right direction, we can actually see the curtains moving
Okay.
inside.
So do you, I mean, I would assume that your HOA has covenants, right?
Oh, yeah, but
yes,
Are they
but it's,
enforceable?
we can
to
put
the
a lien
degree
on
we can
it,
fine him, we can
We have
penalize,
fined
he
him.
just,
but
I
we
mean,
can't
we-
recoup any of our funds until he sells, moves, it's vacant.
Yeah.
all you can do is lean, we can't.
He
Do
did
anything
respond to this last letter and he did replace the roof and we gave him 6 months and it was on day, 5
He
months
does
and
just
29.
enough.
It was literally
To
day
stay
one,
within
79.
yes.
The guidelines.
I was gonna say, because Bill DeLong is gone. He's in the process down south of basically condemning a house
Yeah,
and
some
taking
issues,
taking over.
We've had the county out.
I know.
You should see
I-
this
I
house
know.
down there.
I
It's
was, the
garbage,
last
please.
meeting,
Garbage,
I felt
trash
so bad for them.
out
They
in the
had
yard.
like
Yeah.
squatters in there. I mean,
There's nobody even there now.
The other thing is too, if the house has got if it's a safety hazard, what I told the other people down south is called Kansas Department of Health and Environment.
yeah.
KDHE.
Caesar's even been there. He's even looked at it. Right. And there's and they told me,
We
I mean,
talked
they
about that
threatened
one
me,
after our
right?
camera.
Because I was gonna go remove trash from it, and they said you're on private property. He could come after me for trespassing.
Yep.
So
You can.
right.
Absolutely can.
Dang, I trim their pampas grass and rake their leaves sometimes. So.
be careful.
Yeah, so even though
Catch
that
it.
house is probably not on the level that one down
No, it's
south
not,
is, it's,
but-
it was it was the last meeting we had when Sunswept showed up and I gave them, someone did, me, whoever gave them the commissioner's number. And what was happened, like almost immediately?
Oh, yeah, they went over there and put a, no trespassing sign on the door.
Right, so now it makes it, legal for the squatters if they try to get in and the sheriffs would pull them out, so.
I don't think we're having issues with that.
No.
People living.
Just all
No,
the
but I
zones.
mean,
If there's one of
It
the-
definitely
We
could.
walked around back.
Yeah,
Mark and
it
I
wouldn't
walked
hurt.
around back of that house,
Yeah.
and it was
Our neighbor's cat got stuck in.
They got a garbage shed high,
There's a,
really.
I mean, all over their yard.
As long as we're not-
Okay.
Wow.
yeah, I mean,
The
there are
thing is
workers
when
who
you've
kinda
got a
work
vacant house,
periodically,
the
and
process
they're just
is
there for
not quick,
No,
Third party
and
back.
it's
Trash
very
can go
time
further.
consuming and requires
We
an
got 3
attorney.
acres.
yeah, we've been down that road. Our attorney drafted a letter.
Trash you throw away is out of the yard.
Megan, you got anything?
I was listening, but I would be interested in knowing when the Crestview Improvement District yearly meeting is.
Oh, they meet quarterly.
Hey, quarterly?
I don't know the date, but, they met January like 2nd,
John,
so I'm assuming
did
it's
they give
gonna be the
you
first part
anything
of
for their
April.
schedule, or when
But
they
I
would like the
don't
next meeting
know
to be? Is it on your calendar?
Exactly, and it would be
Crestview.
at
Oh,
Crestview.
No, they only do
At
once a
that
year here.
upstairs room.
It's,
when you
they only
walk
do
in the
one,
front
they do
door, you go
January here because
upstairs,
Crestvew's
there's a
closed.
little meeting room.
And they do the rest of them at
That's where I
Crestview.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I did that one.
At the country club?
Yeah,
And
on the
I
golf
could
course?
probably,
Yeah, second level of the
I don't,
clubhouse.
I have
Yeah,
to
they have,
find
they
out
always have it there.
exactly.
I've attended a couple
I
of
haven't
them.
mentioned
Time?
Tuesday
What?
on a Monday. I don't know, the improvement district dates, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I've got them, but I don't
I
know
know.
off the top of my head.
I have to-
Do you have Andrew's number? Do you gonna text him?
I don't know if I have his number, but I know I have his email, because I had to sign off on the sidewalk.
What's the website?
But you can, let me see if I have it.
At a minimum, I would probably, if it looks like it's
I
been
don't.
redesigned,
I don't.
I would at least ask Crestview if they would share the plans with you, because if it's reflagged, they have something that told people where the
Right.
flag was gonna go. I would at least talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be what I signed off on.
The
What
engineer that,
No.
the engineer that they're working with, I used to office on the same building, but they just moved to their own office now, so
Who are they using?
BHC.
Because they were there with little diggy machines,
Yeah,
You
they
know.
had on the machines
Right.
one day
and
then
they
just left.
started, and they dug,
I
a
saw that.
little- and then they went away. That's
Well, we
the-
wonder what happened.
Exactly. It was like one day's worth of digging.
Maybe they hit unmarked utility.
They only took out, looks like just a solid, like
Yeah.
solid
Yeah.
cutter.
Get the
Probably
rest.
a solid
Solid cutter, yeah, they only went about 5 feet.
Ah.
That was
Just
several
solid.
weeks ago.
Not
They
wide.
never came back.
This from last year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anything
So
else,
then what
anybody?
then what happens to your budget money that you budgeted for the islands?
I have to reallocate it to other road projects. I try very hard to keep North Minnehaha and South Minnehaha budgets relatively similar. Yeah,
So what's your drop dead date for us in regards to project allocation? I know you already tabled Cascades, what'd you say, till 25 or 26?
I wasn't going to deal with it
In
till
general.
26 because that basically our attorney advised me to wait 2 years and then readdress the subject.
All right, well, I don't want
So
to, okay, I don't want to take it up then. I don't want to waste my time and my energy exploring this.
yep,
If it's not even going to be on the docket till 26. I am not going to cross
I-
that bridge.
I totally understand. I get where you're at.
You guys hear?
The thing is, and like I said, everybody that lives on Cascades, if anybody's here from Cascades,
They're all
it's
present.
there's going to be failures in the road. I'm just telling you, there's going to be failures.
What'd you guys do to identify that the road's weak? I don't know. We don't.
You got cracks in the road. It starts dipping down. Those are failures in your subgrade, and that means it's water getting underneath the subgrade. Cracks will get wider and wider. That allows water in, and then we get freeze thaw. And when it freezes, when that water freezes, it does more damage to your asphalt until it's not drivable. You start getting alligatoring, you get ponding on it, all this kind of stuff. Alligatoring is like when it actually looks like alligator skin. All that stuff is it's destroying your subgrade, which means water's getting underneath the road. That's what it means. But to fix Cascades, there's no quick fix for Cascades any longer. The last time it was fixed, they laid 2 inches of asphalt in your gutters. Your gutters are bad. Everything has to be replaced. It all has to be replaced.
The asphalt they did like not too long ago.
I don't know when they did it. I don't know
Well,
when it
it's
was
just
done.
top coat.
Like a year ago. Yeah, that was just
That
a
was just
seal
a
coat.
top coat.
Yeah.
That
But
was.
what it's done is now that it's in the gutter, when water runs down, it's running over the top, but it's also running underneath and getting under the road now. Because now it's got an avenue to go underneath.
I mean, to me it looks fine, but did you guys like have someone that came out and looked at it?
And 2 people come out and look at it, and then I laid eyes on it too. I took both their estimates, and then Mark and I drove it to see what they're seeing compared to their estimates. That's a $140,000 road repair.
So what all does
Road
that
reconstruction, actually.
like redoing the road?
The
Yeah,
entire-
redoing the whole thing.
Base.
All the curb and gutter, all the
Everything.
sub base, ripping everything out and coming back in with asphalt the way it's supposed to be. Because your asphalt should end at the concrete.
Yeah,
gutters.
you guys notice your asphalt goes all the way up to the curb, and you're supposed to have that.
That's not how it goes. You go look at any other street,
Yeah, all the
and
other ones
that's
are
the only
done
street like
correctly.
it.
So the real issue is just getting a small enough piece of equipment, so I just need to go do some research on equipment repair for,
You can do all the research you want, but if we have to have a contractor that'll actually do it.
okay.
I mean, because there's not very many contractors that will do asphalt. And if they tell me no, then I have to go find somebody else, and that's either I'm lessening the quality or I'm paying more money at a premium. So we have to find a balance.
And I'm trying to look at it from a long-term, for the HOA, from property values and so.
Yeah, well, we get like compliments all the time. Everyone loves our little island cul-de-sac, especially all the families, your kids playing around. I mean, I understand. Yes, but it's a bigger issue here than just looking cute.
Quick question, if it, let's say in a year, it's degraded to the point that it becomes dangerous, pothole, whatever, what happens?
I guess you guys have a decision to make. Then you have to come bring it. Then I'm going to ask you to come to this meeting, and you're
So
going to
you
ask
can
us
take out-
on camera.
You can take out the,
Are we being recorded right now?
Absolutely, you are.
Is it because of?
oh, I knew that
No.
right off the bat.
We
Oh,
just-
Smiley back there in the corner.
You for the last 2-3 years, we've recorded every meeting. They're on the website. You can go look at all past meetings. This is DTR Media. They handle our website. They handle all our filming. They do all that for us.
Nice. Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
The drainage that's going on to the golf course, who is in charge of that?
Nobody.
Is that,
So
you don't know
Nobody.
who it's in charge
We've
That's
been
a
fighting
comment.
that battle for,
of? Okay.
That's a-
I was
years
just
I've
curious
lived
who was.
So that's a good conversation to have with Crestview Improvement District when they have money to spend.
Okay.
Because your property lines, the people that abut those, their property lines divide that drainage in half. And you can go to any of
Don't like each other.
Sedgwick County's, you go to Sedgwick County's website, they'll show you the property lines. They go right down the center of it, which means it's private property. It's not public. So we can't touch them, but Crestview Country Club Improvement District could. They could help with them and they could do them.
but the club though, the drainage goes under the
Under.
golf course to the
Out to the
lake.
pond.
Yeah.
And they won't touch the private property of the country club.
True, they won't. And the country club
I've
is
had
owned by a
several
company out of
bids.
California. They're probably not going to fix
And they're gonna be
that.
real happy about tearing up
So
their golf course every 6 months. So
On there.
that's the problem we've had all along. We've had people out to clean it and
It's
whatever,
so
but
bad.
It's not even technically a cart path.
Yours
It's,
is crazy too.
Mine doesn't.
In the cul-de-sac?
mine is not as bad as the rest of them. It does a little, but not as bad.
It just backs up. and
Yeah, it backs
stinks
up and it
it's
stinks.
terrible.
And it's not even technically a golf path. The one on Cascades is,
Yeah.
but the one on Brookline is.
But they've
it's
made it
supposed to be-
into a golf
Exactly.
path, yeah.
It's supposed to be a drain, but if you look at it, the drain goes like uphill. I mean, it is, he's cleaned it out for me a couple of
yeah,
times.
I mean, it
Chris
has
Volkman's
to
had it
fill up
cleaned out.
before it drains.
Gary's cleaned it out every day. I mean,
Yeah, he's not
Gary-
doing that anymore, I
No.
don't think.
he's
Yeah.
given up.
Yeah.
So,
So, but,
No, I just
but,
talked to him yesterday. He's still frustrated about it.
I know, everybody is, but
but the other side of it too is, as you notice that you are being filmed, so you can go back and look at past films. You can see that we have been talking about these cul-de-sacs since
Yes.
September. It is on film,
or before.
or but it could have been before.
Yeah, before.
Because I think I told
The drainage, I mean,
I-
been multiple.
I tell the leaders of the neighborhoods, bring me your projects in October, and then we evaluate them October, November, and December, and figure out what we're going to do and what we're going to spend for budget. And ultimately, I'm just trying to get the best bang for our buck.
Sure.
There was a lot of maintenance that was not done to this township for a long time, and we were just trying to catch up and get it back where it needs to be. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to any projects. They got to be on public property, and they got to make sense.
Do you help evaluate a project if we bring it to you? Because you did say that once we bring it to you, it's like approved. So is more of the research need to be done on the HOA side?
Well, once you bring it to me, that's when I cut somebody loose to go estimate it. I call the professional I need, and they go give me an estimate and give me a cost. And then I start looking at, can I do it this year? Do I need to push it next year? Do I need to push it somewhere else? But when I say it's approved, I think if your HOA or your improvement district is bringing it to me, you guys have already agreed. So when it comes to me, it's about creating a budget and a schedule and a timeline. That's so. I don't like going and just proposing projects in your neighborhood. I'd rather have you tell me what needs to be done in your neighborhood. The only time you'll see us do stuff in your neighborhood without talking to you, we might be raising a canopy of trees or cutting trees that are laying into the roads because that's part of the things we have to do. We might be crack sealing if we're doing just easy maintenance. It might be crack sealing stuff, but unfortunately, Meadows has been crack sealed. We're within a 3-year window that almost all those roads, 3 to 5 years, all those roads are going to be in a position they need to be worked on. All of them. I've been putting Band-Aids on it because they weren't terrible. Band-Aids are kind of come off. We just got to think long term. What does that do for your neighborhood? So.
Thank you for your insight and for your efforts. I really do.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that all you need? Everybody's good?
Well,
Everybody's good with us. How's that?
Yeah, that's self-preservation.
It's not closed, we'll keep on talking.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
fine. Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it's just the thing is that
No, it sounds like it's closed
I
until
mean,
26. So
on
Maybe not later.
for Cascades, unless you have Cascades, unless you all come in here and tell me you want it done, we were advised by the attorney to wait 2 years.
Who's your attorney?
Oh, what's his name?
That's what Brain did. David
Crockett, yeah.
I thought he retired.
David-
Told me he was retiring, so.
David Crockett.
He
Okay,
still
that's
he still handles our stuff.
Okay, well, that's fine. I just thought he was retired.
But yeah, so I mean, the thing is it's just, I don't want lawsuits. I don't want any of that.
We'll work on.
Don't you have
Can we just figure this out and move forward?
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck.
All right, we'll let you get on to other things. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
That's it.